Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Joey, and today we're going to do a quick update or a quick relook at the MagicX Mini Zero 28. Now, I had this on release, which was this version right here, which still has the release version software, firmware, all of that. And I just got in the Ampone version 2 version of the Mini Zero 28, and I thought it would be fun just to look at the differences between the two. This is the one that everybody would be getting nowadays, the one I just got. This is the original one. So this won't apply to a lot of people, but if you're curious how far things have come, and that's what I want to look at, is just see over the last 4 months since February, how far have we gotten on the Mini Zero 28 and where are we at now? So I guess just quickly on the Mini Zero 28 that I have here, MUOS, the custom firmware, isn't available yet, but they are working on it. I made sure to ask them in the last few days just to see where they're at. If you're not familiar enough with the Mini Zero 28, this runs Android with no touchscreen. So you are basically using all of the keys and controls and all of that to use this device. Linux would probably be a really good option for this, but we don't have it yet. It's been about 4 months. Not sure. I sort of expected we would have something by now, but not yet. Seems like it's in development. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty about what actually has changed between these two devices, because they probably look the same to you, and even to me in person, they pretty much look exactly the same. But there are some key differences. So the first difference, I don't know if you can tell, but look at the USB-C charging port and on-the-go port. This right here is the new version. And then if we go ahead and look at the old version, you can see how much more recessed those two ports are. Now, one of the big issues that happened on launch with these two devices is when you were plugging in a USB-C cable, it would be very loose on the original version. And so they tightened it up with the version 2. If we take a USB-C cable, and I'm going to plug it into the old one here, it's super loose. Like I can just pull it right out. There's nothing really keeping it in, all that sort of thing. And it was one of the issues at launch with it. With the new one, when I put in the USB cable, it's in there. We're not going anywhere. It's locked in like it should be. So they definitely did fix that. That was one of the major fixes, and it's good to see here. MagicX also said they have changed the L1, L2, R1, R2, and D-pad buttons. Now, I've been playing with this. I've been checking it out, pushing all these buttons, checking out the D-pad. I don't know if there's a massive difference between them. The D-pad is a bit stiffer on the new version compared to the old version, but the other controls, the L1, R2, all of that, they all feel pretty much exactly the same. So I'm not sure. There is some tightness that could just be not being used for a while on this new one, but from the most part, it's kind of the same on that. So I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. Now let's do a quick recap again on specs for this, just as a reminder. This retails for about $60 on Ampone, which is an AliExpress store, and they sent this device to me, the version 2. And there are purple, black, and glacier blue options. This does run Android 10, and it has a 2.8-inch 640 by 480 display. There's the all-winner A133P processor inside, which is the same as the TrimUI Brick and the TrimUI Smart Pro. There's 2 GB of RAM, 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, a custom Daijisho launcher, which they call Dawn. It's based off of Daijisho. I'll show you what that looks like. Then we have stereo speakers. There's a 2900 milliamp hour battery inside of it. You can use a micro SD card slot, and it only weighs 129 grams. Now, I was curious because, like I said before, these are both using sort of customized versions of Daijisho. It's called the Dawn launcher, and it's exactly what you see here. So you have Daijisho sort of front end where you can go right through, but there's a lot more than Daijisho has in this. There's a lot more that you can do. And so I've been curious. This one is running the newest 1.10 of Dawn and version 2.1 of the firmware. How does it compare to the old one that was running 1.05 and whatever launch firmware it has? So one of the new updates in 1.10 is adding an FTP file service that you can access here. And it just gives you a username and password, ports, your internal IP address. Don't worry, you can't hack me with that. And all of this you can access from your computer, and you can send files back and forth from your PC to this. Without having touchscreen on this device, that helps quite a bit. You don't want to have to fumble around with this device as much as possible. You want to do it other ways. So this is actually a really cool feature that's just built right into Dawn Launcher. Now, another really cool feature that I love about Dawn is you can set settings per system. So let's say Sega 32X. We go into settings. I can set the CPU mode to power saving, balance, or performance based on of this system. I can change the emulator core. I can change the platform overlay if I want it or not, and then integer scaling on or off. You can do all of this within Dawn, which is a different upgrade compared to Daijisho, which doesn't have any of this. So you can do all of that. You can even use the built-in scraper to scrape all of your games, and that'll send all of that for artwork. There's a few things here that Dawn does very well that Daijisho could add. Continuing on with that, making Android better considering you don't have a touchscreen, one of the things they did which was cool is add uninstalling app as a hotkey. So let's say you don't want DuckStation for whatever reason, you could just push X and uninstall DuckStation. Little things like this that help make Android a lot more usable on a device like this. Now, they take this even further because if you go into your games list, and let's say you push Y, you can do, again, per game power savings mode and all of that sort of thing, and all the stuff we looked at before, but you can also just delete the game ROM right from here. These are just cool little additions that show that MagicX is actually using the device or taking feedback from the community on what to add. And these are cool things that I like to see. Now, other than that, if we take a look at the settings, you can see that it's pretty much the same as the original Dawn Launcher. You update your games list. If you ever make any changes, you can clear the cache. There is a game switcher option that you can turn on, and that will make it very similar to Onion OS and how their game switcher works. So the way the game switcher works is you push and hold in the game, and it'll pop you out, and it's supposed to take a screenshot. It seems like it's not working right now, but you can just jump right back in if you want at any time to that game. And it just helps you go between games the same way that Onion OS has, just a bit different here because it's Android instead of Linux, but it works sort of the same. So you can just pop right out, you can go back into any game that you want, it'll load you back in, and it just makes it super quick to get back to your games that you want to get to. Continuing on, looking at the settings again, and you can see the theme color settings. You can change this around to different themes and things that you want. You can open up the wallpaper, change the wallpaper. There's the CPU performance modes. If you want to change this on a completely global settings, as opposed to per system or per game like we looked at before. And there's a whole bunch of other options here nowadays. There's a bunch. What I really like about Dawn Launcher is you update directly from Dawn. So if there's a new update, which I just did today, it would show up here and you can update it. But also if we go and look at select game library directory, this will create the ROM folders for you if you insert a new SD card. And that makes it a lot easier for new users just to build a library and put your ROMs inside of it. Otherwise, going into games and trying out the new controls, and it all feels good to me. I don't know if I could tell a difference between the old one. Besides, like I said before, the D-pad is a little bit stiffer and all that sort of thing, but it still feels good. I still like this handheld as a mini option. It's one of the better ones that we have that is super small in stature and actually is kind of a pocketable device. There's nothing sticking out. You are pretty well set here with this type of device in your pockets. I think it just needs the added touch of probably a Linux custom firmware for it to actually take off. That's probably when a lot of people will jump in. I know there's a lot of people that just don't like Android, even without a touchscreen. It's as much work if they've done here, MagicX. I think Linux is where this will actually take off. So for me, we still aren't there yet. I'll probably do a video whenever MUS does come out for this. But I want to just take a quick look and see where we're at a few months later on the MagicX and the V2. And yeah, it's a better version of the handheld that I liked 4 months ago. So for me, if you want to grab this on AliExpress, $60 US or so, it's a good option, definitely. That's going to be it for this one. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro handhelds like this one. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. And hope you all have a good one.